Well, good evening and welcome to the Brothers-in-law. And on this channel, we discuss police-involved incidents that occur around the country, and we give our analysis on the actions of those police officers to see if their actions are what a reasonable officer would do. We also look at the actions of the citizens to see if they have followed our acronym of CALM, which stands for comply, answer questions, listen, and move on. Would this situation had turned out differently? Now, look, you may agree with us or disagree with us. But by the end of this video, it is our hope that you get a better understanding of how these incidents unfold. Uh, if you're going to disagree with us, that's cool. It's your constitutional right to say what you want. But be respectful in the comments if you're going to disagree with us. We have no problem with you disagreeing with us. But we're trying to give it to you from what we would do as prior law enforcement police officers, the mindset of that officer going into these types of situations. All right. So with that being said, I'm a former Virginia State Trooper, 7 years, and a 21-year retired Navy Chief Petty Officer. And my co-host tonight is Mr. Michael Bradley. What it do?
Hey, what's going on? Good to be back. Good to have another show. For those that don't know, I'm retired 26-year police officer in Northern California. And I'm also an Army veteran, 6-year Army veteran. Good to be back. Got a good show. Got some good points to discuss today. It's something I wanted to bring up real quick before we get into the meat of things. I know last week we talked about that K9 officer deal. It just popped in my head, Corey. But we talked about that K9 incident. I found what was interesting is since then, I'm seeing stuff, news articles coming out saying that K9 officer wasn't fired because he let the dog go. He was actually within his department policy and was following his department policy. But instead, he was fired for some administrative thing, like he was talking about the incident that he shouldn't have. Which I just found that real peculiar. This show is not about that. We ain't gonna get deep into that, but I just wanted to let people know I found that peculiar because, I wonder now if the department policy was flawed and they have to change the department policy and they let him go to make it look like they were quickly correcting a problem in front of the community. When they actually had to change their department policy. You know what I'm saying? Because if you were in department policy, Corey, you know what I'm saying? Hey, yeah, it's ate up. They probably should change their department policy in that incident. But I just found it interesting that he was within their department policy. And I remember we couldn't find their department policy online. You know what I'm saying? So we don't know exactly what that says. But apparently, he was within department policy. So something else need to be changed there.
Yeah, maybe we'll do a part 2 to that one. But tonight, before we jump into our video for tonight, which is Unforeseen Police Chase, what could possibly go wrong? Head on over to our merch shop at Brothas-in-law at spreadshop.com and get your Brothas-in-law t-shirt. We got some nice t-shirts and prayer over there for you. Help support our channel. Again, if you gotta leave us a comment, whether you like or dislike this video, please be respectful. Mike and I just bring our experiences, what we've experienced out here on the road. You got 26 years and my 7 years, so you're talking 30 years of experience and over 30 years or 28 years experience, military service training, tactical combat veterans experience, and we're bringing that in, helping you to get a better understanding how these incidents unfold and not to overreact to every police involved incident that you see, and they're all not racially motivated, despite what you hear on social media and on the mainstream news. So head on over to a shop, support us, get a t-shirt. And tonight's video, like I said, is called Unforeseen Police Chase. It happened actually June.
June last year.
Yeah. Go ahead, Mike. Set it up.
Yeah, June of last year. I think it was in Florida, Manatee Police Department in Florida. I might be wrong on the state, but It was Manatee Police Department last year. These officers saw a vehicle driving recklessly, and they decided to attempt to stop the vehicle. The vehicle ended up leading them on a chase, a pursuit, before finally stopping. And so that's what we're gonna see what happened here on them stopping. What happens and what should have been done or what shouldn't have been done. It's a very entertaining video to say the least. And I know that one of our viewers had given us a comment that they didn't like, Corey, how we start and stop the video. So I tell you what, folks, what we'll do is we'll play the video just straight out so you can see the whole thing first. And then if we need to go back and break stuff down, we might be able to do that. But we'll let you see the video from start to finish before we start talking about it. I think in the past, Corey and I would break a video down so that we could discuss certain things at certain points in the video and kind of give you an explanation why things happen the way they happen up to that point. But I guess, some people would rather just see the video first. You know what I'm saying, Corey?
And, well, that's the whole point of putting the link down below, that you can always go back and watch the video in its entirety. The object of it is to give you a breakdown of the video and try to give you that officer's mindset step by step, so you see and understand why they're making these types of decisions and how that citizen, by their actions, caused the officers act to have that certain kind of a reaction. In this video tonight, though, however, it's definitely very entertaining, and I will caution you on the language in this video. But it's a lot of questions. My problem is more with the law enforcement in this video versus the citizen and their actions. So again, we get into it. Hey, Tone, welcome, Goat, Stacy, and everybody jumping on over on Facebook. Welcome to the show. Think about, if you're that officer, what your actions are going to be when you roll up on here. What's the first thing you think you're going to do if you rolled up on here? And let's get into that mindset and see what happens. But we'll let a little bit of this play out before we start. This one we can. And again, it's a lot of profanity in here.
I got a kid in here. Be careful. I have a kid in the back seat. No, don't grab me. Don't grab me. Don't grab. What are you grabbing me for? What are you grabbing me for? What are you recording?
Okay. I'm trying to.
Don't grab me. Don't grab me. I'm getting out. I'm getting out. I'm getting out. Do not grab me. Do not grab me. I'm gonna give you my driver right here.
Okay. I'm recording too.
Them people threw that shit at my car. I have no problem getting my license. I promise. I have no problem.
Well, you saw the blue lights, right?
I did, yeah.
Okay.
That's why I pulled over right here. No, I pulled over right here. I got off on the interstate.
Accelerated, trying to get away from it.
No, I did not. I pulled over. I'm not hiding from you. I just got out of jail. I'm not hiding from nobody.
I didn't say you were hiding.
Okay.
But it damn sure looked like you were trying to evade me. Is this your vehicle?
Yeah. This is my grandma.
What's this?
That's my medical, just in case.
Is there any in the car?
No.
Well, then I'm not worried about it. Who do you got with you?
My son and my boyfriend.
Okay. And
Kirsten, get out and step out. Step out. Hands up. Hands up, step out, sir.
No, I want you to stay in the car. Do you have ID with you?
I got his ID right here. I got your ID. I got his ID right here. I got it. Okay. I got it.
You got your ID?
I got his ID right here.
She's got it? Okay. What's going on?
Damn people threw 2 fucking sodas at my car.
Where at?
On the interstate, bro. And they cut me off. They almost made me crash. They were doing the fucking most. I did not do nothing to.
Where are you going to?
Alabama.
Where?
Alabama.
Where at Ozark. Ozark? Where are you coming from?
Florida.
Where at Florida?
There.
From your home?
Yes.
Okay.
I just got out of jail. We're going to Alabama. That's it.
Where at did they throw the bottles?
I'm not good with mileage and shit. It had to be about 5-10 miles back. They were throwing shit. They were flicking me off. Do you have the videos of them bitches flicking me off and doing all that extra shit? They were doing so, bro. Please, because I refuse to go to jail for some shit. They started throwing shit at my car first. Can you please come in here? All do you see all this? This is all from them. And then up here,
Hold on.
sir. When
What is it?
All this shit, it was all wet from here. Eliza.
It's what? It's wet?
Yes. Do you see the lines? Do you see these lines? That's all from them throwing something in my car. Hit my shit. I have a 6-year-old.
Water in the car. It fucking hit the kid. It fucking hit the window. It hit
I
her.
have
It
my
almost
son
made her crash us.
You can.
All right. Tell you what.
I just
You'll
have to
stand
speak.
right
Can I just piss?
Not right now, no.
Can I piss there?
If you'll stand right
Okay.
there. Okay, what happened?
When we were driving, there was this other car, new reversion car. Looked like it had a new tag on it. You're okay if I record this, right?
I'm recording.
Oh, okay. We're all recording. Yeah. So we're driving. That car comes past us. They try to cut us off. We slow down a little bit. They come around. They roll the window down and they threw a bottle of water through the car. And it went. They hit the kid, and then it hit inside the car. And we were just trying to.
She saw my lights. I was trying to catch up. She passed me. She was riding that other vehicle. Be quiet. I was trying to catch up. She was trying to get away. She was weaving in and out of cars, trying to get away.
I gotta pee. I have to pee.
Do you have anything illegal on you?
I don't. You can take me.
No, stop.
Okay, I'm just telling you. I don't have nothing. I just have to pee. Can I piss, please? Or I can be here and you can watch me. I don't care.
I don't want to watch that.
Well, hey.
Yeah. All right, what's going on?
She just came up behind me. I was passing an 18-wheeler, and she just came up behind me, and I noticed she swerved and almost hit my car, so I sped up a little bit to get away from her. And I got over to the right lane, if I remember correctly. And I noticed she started swerving more around other cars. I'm like, okay, so she's probably on something. And when she got closer to me, I'm like, I'm not dealing with this. So I kind of try to get away from her because I have a almost 2-year-old daughter. I don't want to risk her life or anything. So I tried to get away from her, and then she started following me, and then they started throwing something at me. I couldn't see it for sure.
They first they threw a water bottle, and the second day they threw like some like round object at us. And then there's multiple times where she tried to over by like the bars are, where the rails are, guardrails. She almost ran us up in that. She had to like.
This would be the lane, and then she would be right here.
Like
and I had no choice to get into the breakdown lane or put really close to the guardrail, and then hard brake. They were blowing kisses at us.
Yeah, she was just like.
I don't know what
she
they
was
were on.
just laughing the whole time, and the guy was just encouraging her.
And I'm pretty sure he was recording too.
Yeah.
He was recording? Okay. All right. You guys will hang tight, okay?
Am I being entertained or can I go?
No, you can't go.
Huh?
Come here.
Am I being entertained?
Yeah, you're being
For
detained.
what? For what?
Because I'm investigating something.
Investigating. Okay, tell me what's going on, and then you can detain me.
You know what's going on.
I know the laws, and I know you can't detain me without a probable cause. So what is it?
What is the problem?
They threw their shit at me, and I got the pictures and video.
Go wait at the vehicle.
Go. I'll show you. Come on, let's go. I'll show you where.
I'll be out there in just a minute.
Okay.
How do you know we're not finding out if they are the violators and we're trying to find out what to do?
That's
That's
why I
what
said, what's
you're
my
jumping to
charge?
conclusion. Let us do our investigation.
You are treating me like I'm the victim.
You're not.
You don't treating me
You
like
are,
I'm
you're-
the problem.
No, you're the victim.
Was he not treating me like I'm the fucking problem? I got my son in the back seat, 6 years old. What the fuck
How
is
about-
wrong with you now? They lucky days. Yeah, with my kid in the back seat.
He's asking them questions.
I
If
will
they-
ask them questions myself.
If they instigated it, who's the victim?
They ain't gonna tell you they instigated. Are you dumb? Are you dumb? Hello? How long have you been a cop?
25 years.
All right, so they gonna tell you they instigated or not? Are they or not?
You don't know that.
No, they ain't. You fucking dumb.
Okay.
You say you've been 25 years. You're fucking-
Go. I agree with you. It does sound a little methy.
You're not
Yeah.
free to go. You're not free to go.
Am I being detained?
He is detaining you. You're not free to go.
Am I being detained?
Yes, you are.
Okay.
He's conducting an investigation. No, you're not under handcuffs. Oh, there he comes. Get out of the road.
Sweetheart.
Get over here.
You better let me go.
Here he comes, right here to let you go.
Good night. Good night. Good night. Good night. That's what I'm talking.
Don't pull off.
Good night.
He's conducting the investigation.
AG1 is so much more than a green spot. In one single scoop, it delivers daily multivitamins.
Yeah, I agree. Jesus loves you.
Yeah, let me talk to you.
For what?
For what?
You don't even know his no.
You're gonna talk to him.
No.
Yeah,
no.
she's
Because I want
definitely
to
out of
get
her
away
mind.
from her so we can talk.
No.
Listen, I told you what happened already. and that's what
No,
happened.
he's
You're
not
not
stepping
under
out the vehicle.
arrest.
You don't have to step out the vehicle to tell you what happened. No, bro.
Ma'am,
Bree, I swear to God, I'm going to snap on these niggas. He does not need to step out the vehicle to tell you
would
what
you
happened.
shut up?
No, the fuck I won't. No, I won't.
I just need to talk to you.
No. That ain't
So
no
that way I
talking.
can talk to you.
No, he's going to tell you the same thing I told you.
I don't understand. We all have the same story, so what's the difference?
Listen, can I get your ID, your name, and your badge number, please? You're ugly as fuck. Who you uglier than a bitch? Okay, finish, please.
No,
Am I being detained?
Yes, you're being detained.
For what?
This is entertaining to say the least.
No, I don't.
To say the least.
No, I'm pulling off. Please tell me.
You're not.
What am I
Pull
being?
off, you're going to
What
jail
am I being detained for? Please tell me.
for fleeing and looting.
Please looting what?
Yeah.
No, you can't touch my phone.
I'm not.
Please looting what?
Would you step outside and
No.
talk to you? Or, I'm trying to avoid taking anybody to jail.
Good night. Please move your hand off my shit. Please move your hand off my shit. This ain't your car. Please move your hand.
Ma'am,
This ain't your
you're
shit.
about to go to jail.
You're about to. Please move your hand off my shit. I am not being detained.
863.
Good night. Good night. Am I being detained? Am I
You
being
have Jackson
detained?
County, right?
Am I being detained?
Yes, I've
For
told you
what?
that.
For what?
You're being
I have
detained.
yet to be told what for.
You'll find out here in just a minute.
No, tell me now. I'm gonna call 911.
Call 911.
This
You gonna
is
call
a straight,
911?
this is a straight clown show. These officers are some clowns. Okay, she ate up too, but these officers are doing some dumb stuff, man.
863.
So and they speed it up here and they get to the end result.
So she drives off.
Yeah, she drives off and ultimately crashes the vehicle.
There's so many things wrong with this, man.
And she got to show her
Get on the
high.
ground.
Fuck you. My kid in the car. Elijah, get out.
And there's an infant child in her car, by the way.
So, she ends up getting arrested. That stopper right there, end up getting arrested. But, let's back up to the beginning now, Mike.
Where do we start? Oh. Okay, folks.
Well, you saw the blue lights, right?
Right there.
For starters, up to this point, what you see on the screen right here, she had just led them on a pursuit, by the way. Okay, that's why he immediately went up there to try to grab her out of the car. She already fled them at one point.
Right, and that's why they got there, and they were. I don't know if you caught the very beginning. They were already seeing like they had probably had their weapons drawn on her, trying to give her the commands to get out the car.
Yeah. So, oh man, the first mistake, which is probably one of many, the first mistake these officers are making is that he's standing there with his gun side to her the whole time. That is very unsafe for an officer to be standing and dealing with a suspect like that who just took you on a vehicle pursuit. Okay. She should have been placed in handcuffs right then and there as soon as she got out.
Oh, yeah.
As soon as he got her out of the car, handcuffs should have been on right then and there.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the first safety issue that I see right out the gate. Is you went up to the car to grab her. You got a car of multiple occupants in the vehicle. Okay. You probably shouldn't even went up there to try to grab her. You probably should have continued to try to give her commands. This should be a high speed felony stop of a fleeing vehicle. Okay. Right. So he shouldn't have even gone up there, at least not at that point. You know what I'm saying? They should have given him commands to step out of the vehicle and all that whole process, right?
Yep. Yeah. So, he should. I mean, if he made that decision to go ahead and approach that vehicle, he should have no questions asked. It was almost like he never had control of that stop.
There you go. There you go. That's the number one thing. There was never any control over this stop. There was never any control over her or anybody. There wasn't even control of the occupants of the vehicle.
Once you make that decision, though, Mike, to go hands on, you got to go carry it through. Because at that point, once you showed it, she sensed that, okay, I got him. I'm in control now. And from that point on, they lost control of the whole stop.
Yeah. Like you said, she should have been cuffed immediately as soon as she got out of that car. Okay. Because you don't, as an officer, you don't know what's going on with this person. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
then
she starts acting like a reasonable person.
True. Then she starts going in her story about what was going on with her. Some type of road rage incident between her and another motorist. Okay. So we got to investigate that. You know what I'm saying? We got to find out what happened, who said what. They were able to contact the other motorists involved in this, get that motorist story and get her story. Try to figure out who the aggressor was. We got to try to figure out who's telling the truth here. Okay. Because you led us on a vehicle pursuit. Okay. And we got to find out. That's the first mistake you did. But in addition to that, we got to find out what's going on. She up there walking around, you know, he tell her to step over here. But I see that he had a cover unit at some point that showed up. Okay. All right. He had a cover unit, told her to step back, a step over there so he could talk to the passenger. Right?
Yep.
And then, you know, she starts asking him, am I detained? Am I detained? He says what? Yeah, you're detained. Okay. She should have been in handcuffs. We covered that. But yeah, you were detained. Okay. You can't just walk away. You can't just get back into your car. But what does he do, Corey? Somehow, some way, he allows her to get back into her car. Okay. Are we forgetting here that she led him on a vehicle pursuit? Are we forgetting that part?
Right. Oh yeah, something was forgotten.
Something was forgotten.
And I just want to say that's the reason why in these situations like this, once you jump out that vehicle and you've already displayed to me that you're not going to be cooperative with me, I'm going to go ahead and automatically detain you, put you in handcuffs for your safety and mine. Because when you're running around like this here, you stand at risk of getting hit, and it puts her life in danger and you as the officer, your life in danger. And you got the highway right there, and she's running around here like, you know, a chicken with her head cut off. If she were to get hit by an oncoming vehicle, then it's those officers who will be at fault. And so this is the reason why, you know, it's more so for who in the zoo right now. We have to figure out what's going on. And if that other officer is doing it at up to this point, I mean, pretty much everybody is in agreement. And I'm looking here in the chat that she's clearly on something. She's not acting as a normal person would be. And let's move up now to the investigation part, Mike, where now you got the other party telling their side of the story. And so if this were me working this incident, I'd be honest, I'm believing this other party, the other motorists, and how they're explaining their story. They're nice, they're reasonable, they're calm.
Right.
They're calm. And she's overreacting. She's doing a lot of misdirecting, if you will. And
yes, over the top.
Right, over the top and being very dramatic. You know, I didn't do nothing type attitude. It wasn't me. And clearly it was. I'm more liable to believe them. So yeah, you are detained right now. Again, like I said in the beginning, my biggest problems are with these officers and their lack of control of the situation.
Yeah.
You couldn't even really tell her why she is being detained. All right, are you detained her because you're conducting an investigation? Okay, cool. All right, well, how about you failed to yield to emergency lights and sirens when I was behind you? you led me onto a pursuit. So yeah, you're being detained for that as well.
Yeah.
So I don't think they were confident in their actions. To me, they seem very lackadaisy.
There you go. They just seemed too far relaxed to where there just was no assertiveness and no control over
Right.
there. She wasn't handcuffed, which allowed her to wander around, which allowed her to like you said, she backed up into the roadway talking about, am I detained? Well, what if a truck came in and smashed into her? Now you got another incident you got to investigate. You see what I'm saying? She was not handcuffed and out of control. Therefore, she was able to wander around, walk all over the place, walk back into the road. At some point, actually get back into her car. Okay, that should have never happened. She should have never been allowed to get back into that car.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, viewers, why do you think she wasn't handcuffed? I mean, what could possibly be a good reason not to handcuff her? Do you think they were just not confident in what they're doing? What would be a reason for them not to handcuff her?
And further that, do you understand why an officer would handcuff her in this situation right out the gate? Do you understand why? You know what I'm saying? What it was very important to have some control over her. Okay, because like whatchamacallit said, this seems very methy.
Yeah, go.
You know what I'm saying? She very well could have been high on methamphetamine. You know what I'm saying?
She was clearly high on something. So, yeah, and I think that also too, they were displaying a lot of, I mean, I wasn't there, we're Monday morning quarterbacking this, but it seems as though they were hiding something else as well. Cause she mentioned that she had just got out of jail. In fact, in the crash, you didn't see, but the passenger door was open at the end, and he took off and left the scene. So that's telling me he hadn't been wanted for something. You're the passenger. What do you need to run for? You're the passenger.
Why are you leaving the scene? You know what I'm saying?
Why are you leaving the scene?
Again, no control by these officers on these individuals. None at all. You know what I'm saying? Which is them not handcuffing her when they should have led to her being able to get back into her car or continue to argue with them about whether or not why you're being detained. You know what I'm saying? And then she actually takes off on them again on a vehicle pursuit. Okay. Yeah. She leaves the scene again because these officers had no control over what was going on.
Yeah. I don't know whether or not because she was a female or they felt intimidated by her, or it's because of their physical appearance. Like they knew that they couldn't or didn't want to get in a physical altercation with her. I don't know if maybe they felt some type of repercussion if they did. But there is I just don't understand why they were so lackadaisical where they had no control over the situation. And it's just sad. And you're doing all this, with a child in your vehicle,
right?
As well as there was a kid in the I'll call them a victim now because we know now that she was the one instigating this thing. They also had a child in the car that they had mentioned too, and were fearful. So here we go. What do we do?
Yeah, some comments, folks. I mean, do you see how these officers should have controlled this situation a lot better and why? You know what I'm saying? They should have controlled it a lot better than what they did. Okay. She should have at minimum. Both even before they approached this vehicle, once she pulled over, that should have been a high risk stop. Okay. They should have been calling, shouting commands from the car to get her out of the car. They should have done it that way and handcuffed her. Matter of fact, handcuff both of them.
Well, that's a crazy thing. They started out like that.
Yeah. And in some way, one officer walked right up, opened the door, and just grabbed her. What if she would have had a gun, folks? What if she or her passenger would have had a gun and shot that officer as soon as he walked up there? You know what I'm saying? She did take him on a vehicle pursuit. Is it unreasonable to think that it's possible these people could be armed? It's not unreasonable to think that. So again, folks, remember, as officers, we got to treat it to be safe. We got to treat you, and I'm going to assume you might be armed, okay? And I'm going to handle that call accordingly. This guy just went up, grabbed her like it ain't nothing, you know?
Right, and until I'm able to prove that you're not.
Right.
I'm going to assume that you are armed. But that's just the way you have to handle it. You know what I mean? The most important thing, and this is why, you know, you have to have control of the situation, because I always believe that once you lose control of the scene, it's hard to get it back.
That's right. That's right.
It's hard to get it back, and they lost it. Could this have been different if this young lady was black? Would they handled her a lot different? Were they handling her this way because she's a white lady?
You know, we always hate to bring race into it, but you do ask the question sometimes. I wonder if these officers would have been a little different. You know, we don't know. Again, we're telling you what we would have done as officers if we were in this position. Okay. But it seems like he was very, I guess lackadaisical is the best word for it right there. He was just very, low key, very, and some officer safety issues were ignored. You know what I'm saying? He was not doing things safely as an officer, okay, to help himself not get hurt or anything. He wasn't doing any of that, letting this female go on about whatever she was doing, however she was wanting to do it, to the point where she got back into the car and took off on him again. You should be ashamed of how that happened as an officer, okay? Or at least you should learn from that, okay? I don't like to bash officers, you know what I'm saying? We all make mistakes, but you should definitely learn from this mistake.
From this one, and then you talking to the passengers and then trying to get him out, and that's the reason why we separate individuals when we're trying to get statements, because I don't need one person trying to get a statement from one individual from victim A, and then B is over here no, that's not true, that's not what happened, you hit me first, blah blah. I can't get an understanding. So this is why we separate them. So this is why, even though, he might have got part of the other guy, the passenger story, maybe he would talk a little different to the officer if he got him away from her. Right. And this is why he was asking him to step out of the vehicle. But he's like, well, no, I already told you everything. I don't need to step out of there. Well, I need to talk to you. I need to get you away from her. You are detained too. So unless you want to be arrested for obstructing, because now you're stopping me from performing my duties, that's what was going to happen. So it behooves you to go ahead and step out of the vehicle so I can get you over here, get your statement, and try to figure out who's at fault here. But she seems like she's probably been in the system so long, she feels she knows more about the law than they do.
She starts making all kind of demands and stuff when she should have been handcuffed she should have been the first one handcuffed in the first place. Okay. But she starts making all kind of demands on this officer when she the one acting a fool. And we definitely are going to tell you how poorly these officers handled this situation. Very poorly. Okay. But she was off the chain too.
Well, I mean, clearly she was acting out of norm of what a reasonable person should be acting. And clearly she was under the influence of something. And that would probably be the most important reason to make sure you go ahead and get her into handcuffs, because clearly she's out of control. You don't want her to get hurt. You don't want anybody else to get hurt. And that should have been number one, go ahead and detain her and get her under control, because as you can see, the end result of why you need to do these things. This is why you need to do it.
Right.
If she had been properly detained and properly placed in handcuffs, she would not
have been able to get back in that car and take off again
and take off. And they would have probably, you know, end up taking, just instead of just her to jail, taking him to jail too, because I'm sure he probably had some kind of outstanding warrants and stuff too. Why else would he have to leave? You know, he didn't. I don't think he had any identification because she's yelling and screaming, "I got his ID! I got his ID!" All right, well, he probably, why did she have your ID? You know, it's a lot of strange things was unfolding there that just didn't make sense. And so, you know, bad on the cops this time. I'm not bashing the police, but a lot of lessons learned that they could have done things a lot better. She was just a complete goofball, for lack of better words.
Yeah.
And
she was probably on
island all by herself.
Probably high on something.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah, she definitely high on something. So we're talking about Unforeseen police chase, a chase that happened a little over a year ago. And the end result was the young lady crashed the car with a child inside. These officers totally lost control of the situation. And but thank God, you know, she did get arrested finally. So if you're new to our channel, just joining in on us tonight, that's where we are right now. Go ahead, hit that like button for us. Share this out. And let's see what else we got going on here, Mike.
Good comment, Tone, about that standard training stuff right there for police officers is you don't stand with the suspect on your gun side, obviously for obvious reasons. If something happens, you don't want that suspect to be able to reach and grab for your gun. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So you always stand a certain way. That's why you see police when they do certain things. One of the things we do, Corey, is we like to tell people some of the things that police officers do and why they do that. You know, if you see a police officer, he's standing at like a bladed stance with his gun side away from you, that's training stuff. That's that's how an officer's trained to stand that way. You know, obviously there might be some incidents where that might, you know, you may not have a choice or something. But typically you intentionally try to stand with your gun side away from the suspect. Okay. Yeah. Regular standards training stuff right there.
Yeah, she was all over the place. They had no situational awareness of where she was. She just roamed around aimlessly at any point. You know, she could have grabbed their weapons and used it against them. So I mean, it's a lot of more tactical errors on this. But at the end of the day, these guys need to relook this video over and reevaluate how they do these types of high value, but
high risk traffic
stops. So, but that's a good video. We do. Switch gears real quick for a hot second. Mike kind of bow tie this show up. We got a question emailed to us. It was a gun. What was it? What do you would call it? A gun.
Oh, yeah, a gun.
Not a gun incident, but a gun.
Citizen carrying a gun into a business or something to that effect.
Yeah, right? if you are a licensed carry gun owner and you take your gun into a place of business that has a sign that says no weapons allowed, but you take your weapon in there anyways, and in the process of you being inside that place of business, you stop a robbery in progress and ultimately possibly stopping, you know, people from getting hurt or killed, would you still be in trouble? Is the question.
Yeah, good question. That's a good question.
Good question. So thank you for that question. Jesus loves you. Go ahead, Mike.
Good question. Jesus loves you. I mean, you first of all, the first thing we'll say is you always want to obviously know the laws of the state that you are in. If you happen to be in one of those states where concealed carry is legal for citizens, or open carry is legal for citizens, you also want to be aware of that. So we're going to assume for the intents and purposes of this question that you can legally carry a gun in the first place on you, period. Okay. And you happen to come across a business. Okay. Let's say it's concealed. The business, say, doesn't know you have a firearm. All right. So you walk into this business with the sign on the business that says, we don't allow firearms in our establishment. Now, if it's legally in that state to carry a firearm, then that sign you see on a business is just that business's rule. You know what I'm saying? Most businesses, I'm assuming, are private establishments. Okay. So when you go in there, they do have a right to dictate what rules they have and whether or not they want to serve you. If you follow those rules or if you break those rules, they can have you removed from their premises, their private property premises. They don't have to serve you. They don't have to conduct business with you if you break their rules. Okay. So that within itself, assuming that there's no law saying you can't bring your firearm in, no state law saying you can't bring your firearm in their establishment, then I think you'd be okay if you happen to be in their establishment with a firearm, something from happening. You know what I'm saying? That depends on whether or not there's some state law that prevents you from carrying a firearm in the business.
Yeah, but now you're talking after the fact.
Right. After the fact.
You're talking after the fact now, because if you, and now Jesus loves you, would you, in this scenario that you're asking, would you be carrying concealed or you open carrying? I think that would make a difference. Plus, well, actually, no, it probably wouldn't make a difference if nobody's seen you coming in the store.
Yeah, if they don't see your gun, they ain't gonna stop you from coming into their business, right? Because you're, as far as they know, you're not breaking a rule. Their rule. Let me put emphasis on their
rule. He's concealed.
Okay, so you conceal. They don't know you got a gun on you, and you don't pull it out until you actually have to use it in the incident. At that point, if I'm the business, I know my rule is to not have firearms in my business, right? But if I see you stopping a murder or a robbery in my business, okay, I ain't gonna complain that you happen to have a firearm and breaking my rule in that business. Okay.
Well,
there's nothing you could be arrested for, because this is a private establishment, and that firearm rule is just my own personal rule. It's not a state law. So I can't have you arrested because you carried a firearm in my business. Only thing I could possibly have you arrested for is if, say, you come to my business, Corey, and I see that you have a firearm, okay, and my sign says no firearms allowed, and I say you can't enter my business. You're not allowed to be in here. Now, that's different. If you come in at that point against my rules, I can have you removed for trespassing. It's the same thing. I can call the police and say he's trespassing on my property. I asked him to leave. He refused to leave, and he's trespassing on my property at that point. Right?
And it can refuse your business and have you brought up on charges for trespassing and possibly banned from that establishment. Yeah. But we're talking after the fact. I think, hopefully a business owner in that situation would not be too upset that you probably saved a bunch of lives by being there and having that. But I would always just caution you, one, seek legal counsel in these type of matters. Know your city and locality laws and ordinances.
Key. That's definitely key.
And what does your state requirements say that you can and cannot do? Here in Virginia, you can open carry state. There's certain establishments by law where you cannot carry your weapons into, i.e. Bars, churches, unless the church is in agreement with having certain members of the congregation carry weapons. A lot of times they're already former officers, and so they're okay with that. But obviously, to schools, all your government buildings, there's certain establishments where you, by law, you cannot carry weapons. So I would just say make sure you check with all your municipalities and make sure you're up to speed on where you can and cannot carry your weapons too.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you know,
go ahead, Mike. I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say, I mean, if you end up getting involved in an incident where you had to pull your firearm out and use it, that's going to be investigated just like any other incident. But the aspect of you just having a firearm in that establishment against the business's rule, well, at that point, it's too late because you already stopped what happened. You had already been inside their establishment, obviously, with a firearm. So their personal rule, in my opinion, falls down by the wayside. You know what I'm saying?
Well, they could still ultimately have you banned from that store if they choose to.
I suppose so. I mean, if they chose this, like I said, again, it's their personal business. And if they don't want you in there because you had a firearm, I guess they could do that. You know what I'm saying? So, but the big thing is, as far as you being criminally charged with something, you definitely want to know your state laws. Make sure it's not a state law that you're not supposed to have a firearm in that business. You know what I'm saying? Make sure it's not, something like that. Know your laws of your state that you're carrying in and what could happen. Obviously, if you get into an incident with a firearm, period, it's going to be investigated by law enforcement, period. You know what I'm saying? No matter if you're in a business that says you can't have it or not. But that's a separate investigation. Or in other words, that's a separate incident that happened in addition to you having a firearm in an establishment that doesn't allow it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, good question. Hopefully we answer that for you. Jesus love you. Give us a thumbs up in the comments if we did. If you got any additional questions to ask, please go ahead and drop it in the comments down below. Again, if you new to the show, checking us out, please go ahead and hit that like, share, and subscribe button for us and stay up to date on all the latest videos and all our lives. Get notifications when we go live. We go live every Thursday night at 8:10. We're going to go ahead and get ready to wrap this one up tonight. It's a rather short video, but if you got a video you'd like for us to check out, email it to us over at brothers-in-law21@gmail.com or hit us up over on Facebook at Brothers-in-Law and send us the video over there and we'll get it on the show. We got a lot stacking up on us right now, so we're working our way down that list and getting the videos on here. Now, with that, I will say, Mike, we got to try to get the context of it. Make sure there's enough in there that we can talk about and share points of views and things like that.
Sure.
So want to thank you all. And Tone, I'm glad you got the coffee cup. If you could, Tone, take a picture with it and post it on our Facebook page. Greatly appreciate that. Again, head on over to the Brothers-in-Law shop and get you a t-shirt, coffee mug like Tone got, which I don't have one, or I don't know if you can see my mug on here that says Brothers-in-Law. Well, it says stay calm with the calm acronym on it. Keeps your water nice and cold, keeps your coffee nice and hot. I love this thing. And it's very nice, very good work done on it. So head on over to the shop and get you a t-shirt and help support our channel, folks. Be back next week. We may do, if you want us to do a part 2 to that K9 incident video we did last week, give us a thumbs up in the comments and we'll get that on. Mike, final words.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. I see you, Tone. I'm glad you made it on the show. Goat. Jesus love you, Stacy. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Love the comments that you guys have on here. Keep the questions coming. Love to answer those if we can, and if we can't, we'll find the answers for you. Okay.
Yeah.
A Hall of Fame weekend, Corey. The Hall of Fame football game is on right now.
The game is tonight.
Yeah, it's on right now.
Oh man,
Football, the Hall of Fame football game is on. You know, we like the Hall of Fame football game, folks. We from that city where they play it.
Yeah.
So football season is upon us, and let's get it.
All right, y'all. We'll see y'all next week. Same time, same sandbox. We love you. Thank you. And God bless.
See you later. Peace out.